An FDD is a franchise disclosure document, and it's designed to educate a candidate or a new prospect on the brand and on franchising. It's broken up into two primary parts. You have the items that kind of walks through the, who they are, what the industry is, what the investment is, what the ongoing costs are, what the territory is, and most importantly, what the franchisor does for you. And then it provides content with respect to contracts, operations, what states they're registered in. So it's a very transparent document it should be a very transparent document as to educate the prospect as to what they're getting into from an operational, financial, and contractual relationship. Item 7 is a high-low range of what the investment could be. Typically, it's going to be what the brand experienced in the prior year. And it gives the candidate a range of what the cost could be. It's great because if you're working with good partners, then they can go validate with that with the existing franchisees within the organization, and they'll know that it makes sense. And that's important because if they're subject to financing, or if they're digging into 401k or however they're funding it, they've got to make sure that they have the funds to make it work. The worst thing you can do in franchising is go into a brand skinny financially. And so understanding the cost and where the money goes and how it works is really important when you're creating your, not just your initial pro forma, but understanding where you're starting with and where you're going to end up, whether you're doing a 2-year, 3-year, 5-year financial plan. So in item 19 is a financial performance representation. It's designed to show off what the brand can do in terms of unit economics and what it can do financially in terms of sales and costs. I think today about 80% of all brands actually have them in their FDD. Are you looking at an emerging brand that has 4 company stores and 1 franchise, and you're only seeing 1 of the company stores in there? Know what you're getting into, but it's really a chance to shine. Whether you're an emerging brand or you're a relaunching brand that's been around for a while that maybe has shifted its business model and you want to highlight where the company's going. So it's really a chance to show candidates what's going on. And if you do it right, you should have very strong historical data. Because at the end of the day, when a franchisee is going to, or franchise candidate is going to decide to move forward, and if they're getting funding, they're going to have to put together a financial analysis. And that financial analysis needs to show what the ramp up's going to be, what the startup's going to be, and the more data that you can put out there, the better decisions a candidate can make. So one of our jobs, and a primary job, is working with franchise concepts and franchise companies to start thinking about that too. And it doesn't just happen because you've got to gather the data from the existing franchisees, and then that the candidate can feel comfortable that they're making a good decision.
BrandONE takes the fear and mystery out of it. We make it palatable. We give them the education on the FDD so they understand the disclosures entirely. Not only is this critical for the candidate because they need to understand all the details of the franchise offering, it's also critically important to the franchisor. The worst case scenario is when you bring on a franchisee, when they become part of your family, they say, nobody told me about that in the process. At BrandONE, our process educates the candidates from disclosure, from the opportunity, and then all of the different systems that are happening within your franchise program so they're better prepared to be successful.